So we've got some special guests here, everybody. I've just got to stick to the clock because some of these people have media commitments this afternoon. I'm one of those, Em's one of those, and so too are our other guests. But ladies and gentlemen, if I can just have a little bit of shush, I hope everybody bought some raffle tickets. The best value there is $50 worth. That's just a nice simple way you can help out today. Show us your hand, Troy. Just stick your hand up, Fig Tree Troy. They call this bloke Fig Tree Troy. The best memorabilia in Australia. Beautifully block mounted. All certificates of authenticity. And often 99% of them would have the photo of the star signing. So I'm just telling you that because people, buy memorabilia for a variety of different reasons. So you can buy with confidence when we get to that. I've got this little raffle ticket here. I'm going to ask Christine about that because I forgot what that was for.
Well, we're going to draw a lucky... She just said
lucky door prize.
A lucky door prize. So she's got all of them in the little barrel at the back.
Mm-hmm.
She's at the back. You're going to do it back there? Oh, come up front.
Come
on down. Round of applause for Chrissy, everyone.
Yes, she does a great job. Christine Tadros and her husband Shubs. Oh, he's looking like... Look at the weight he's lost.
And Chrissy and Kate have done an incredible job on putting this all together today as well. So we love you, Chrissy.
And Shubs, her other half, is from Oz Arab Media with Remy and all the team, taking the world by storm. Taking Bankstown by storm. Remy, you lost so much weight, old son. He looks like bloody Rocky Balboa with glasses. Right.
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Lucky door prize number 1. Red C92. Red C92.
C for Charlie 92. We got one.
Got a winner.
Here, this gentleman. Thank you, sir.
She's bringing the prize
Christine.
up. She's bringing it up. Do you want to do another one now, Chrissy? We'll do another. And then we'll do a couple later. Another lucky door prize. Drum roll. The winner is Black F31. Do we have a winner?
F for Fred 31. There he is.
Thanks, Chrissy. Do a few more. We'll do a couple later as well.
Thank you, Christine.
And don't forget, you can still get your raffle tickets. So just put your hand up and the girls will come around.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to invite our next guests up on the stage. Both are absolute rugby league royalty. The first one, of course, come from Goolagong to play with the Penrith Panthers back in the 70s and ended his career in a fairy tale-like fashion when he played in the first Penrith team to win a premiership. Fairy tale-like if you forget all the hard work he put in between getting here, getting the belief in the club, getting the belief around him, to then promise everybody in Penrith he'd have a drink with them all to celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most loved people in rugby league, the great Royce Simmons. Hello, Royce. And ladies and gentlemen, from one of the most successful clubs in rugby league that have had success right through the 70s, 80s, 90s, right through till today, won the premiership in 1975, but then they had quite a little stint where they didn't win one. Then they got one in 2002, and this chap was part of it all, the great Anthony Minicello. All right, take this one, Minnie, because I know it works. Thank you both. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I see Royce, I ask him to tell this story. So you've probably heard it before. And he always says to me, if I forget along the way, just prompt me. So Royce, firstly, welcome. Welcome to you, mate.
Thank you, mate.
You know what I'm going to ask you about?
Am I working? Yeah,
you're working.
He always asks me to ask the stories, and the worst that the Mensch's got the more he asks for it. So, so I'm struggling. So if I miss a bit here, I'll do it. He's already mentioned I'm from the little town of Goolagong, and at Goolagong at the time, I'm going back into the 60s, there was no sewages or anything like that, so your toilet was a tin shed up in your backyard as far away as you could get it, and in the tin shed would be a big bucket, for a better word, with a wooden seat on it, was the toilet seat, and that's where you went to the loo. You went up there and it wasn't very pleasant, but that's what you did. And twice a week, the Dundee cleaners would come around in a truck, and they'd go in and they put the shit, for a better word, on the shoulder, and they take it down and put them back in the truck, and away they go. Anyway, this morning I've got up about 5 in the morning. I've gone down to the toilet, opened the door up, and there's old Jock, the Dundee picker-upper, I looked in, and he was putting his fingers in the top of the and I said, in like that, and he's gone. I said, Jock, you dirty bastard, what are you doing? And he said, I got cracked lips. Remember your mum and dad years ago saying, don't lick your lips, you'll crack them? And he was going like this. And he said, I said, that might help him. He said, yeah, but it stops you from licking them. So, should have told us the bit first at the start about the old days,
Great stuff, Royce. And great to see you here again today with your beautiful wife, Leanne, who's also made the trip. Nice to see you, Leanne. I know he was asking you a few of those old stories on the way, so I thought I'd bring out my favourite one. Minnie, you've got a wonderful rugby league story. Still part of such a successful club, the only NRL club you played for. And we've spoken about this before. When it comes to mental health, you had to battle through that injury that kept you sidelined for so long, maybe a couple of seasons. But you had to be mentally capable of going through that and getting back on the field.
Yeah, I was injured for 4 years in a row. I had a back injury 06, back injury 07, neck injury 08, and serious syndesmosis 09. So, through that period, there was no Gotcha4Life around, and especially in the early 2000s, there wasn't like, Speak Up, where there's a lot of awareness that is around now. And it continues to get better, which we needed to. But back in the early 2000s, there was not much of these programs around, so you just sort of suck it up and deal with it yourself. I was pretty lucky that I'm sort of a positive guy, natured guy anyway, so I worked hard to get through it. But obviously when your job is playing sport on the weekend and playing for the Roosters, and you can't do that for 4 years in a row, that's it does take its toll for sure. So it's important that you have a good family around you. You can speak to people and stuff like that, and I certainly had that with my wife and family as well. So that's what sort of got me through those tough times. But then, realising how important the little things are and how well you can stay consistent at them, which I found in mid-2008, and that was all through, a good balanced diet, 7-8 hours sleep a night, making sure the body's hydrated, natural sunlight, all that type of stuff, which are the little 1%ers. You put all those together, you do them consistently over a period of time, and that's what definitely improves your mental state without doubt.
I think everyone, when they speak about you, I know Joey and Freddie say this a lot and have mentioned it on the footy show, that you were so professional when it came to things like your diet. How much did doing all of those 1%ers, which probably was a bit more rare back when you were playing, how much did that help not just your physical performance but your mental state as well? Because I think often we all forget that diet and your gut, it's all linked to your brain.
Well, everything's connected, right? Your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, it's all connected. If you sleep well, if you get 8 hours a night consistently, then you're going to wake up with a clearer mind, make better decisions, be better under pressure, and then you might make better decisions with your diet or exercise. So it just flows on from that. So if you do all those things consistently well, and I always say 80% of the time, you got to enjoy parts of life where you might have a drink or whatnot and enjoy yourself. But if you do that well 80% of the time, those little things, then you'll get a huge a huge benefit out of your own body from it. So you've got to put in the get out,
Royce, getting back to you for a minute, mate. Obviously, you are the heart and soul. You dug the well there at Penrith. You played that 1990 grand final, but the 91 grand final, I think, is anybody my age remembers, because it was the first Panthers grand final, and your celebration. I know that it was one of the greatest days in your life. Can you reflect on that much these days, old mate?
Not really, unfortunately. But, well, I will as best I can. I still remember saying to everyone I'll have a drink with everyone in Penrith, and I have. But I'll go back, which is a bit of a shock, and I'll come back to what you said about all this. People, me in the rugby league, like everyone thinks I used to drink all the time because I come out with that statement at the end of the thing. And in the game, the same thing. I didn't drink after, say, a Monday night. Never played. I was on this eat to win diet, and I was searching. Everyone seen me as a rough little, tough little hooker or something that ripped in and raw in and didn't give a shit about anything. Mate, I was the best trainer at Penrith, as in week to week, day to day. Like, I was no Alexander, like if we run the 800, by the way, he beat me by a lap and a half. But all them other 1%ers, I was all into them non-stop, and particularly with the diets, particularly with fitness, training, and it all adds up. And then in your final game, just anyone out there with your business or anything, you put everything in place and you do your best and you battle away. One day you'll get there.
How much do those routines and structures help you now as well with the incredible work you're doing towards dementia research? And I know you're open and raw a lot of the time in saying that, it's like just when you're saying to us before, you need to be prompted at times and it can be a struggle, but you get up and walk every day, I believe still. Like, how much do the routines help you in your life?
Enormously, I sat around, like, for the people out there don't know, I've got dementia. I've had it now for about 5 years, and it's a pretty mean thing. You sort of slip down the hill a bit, and that's the direction I'm going in. But I've no doubt in the world I've slowed it up the buggery by doing things like exactly what you said. Get out. Like, I went to see the doctor originally. The doctor said, "Well, you got dementia," and I just fell in the heap, and I thought, what can I do with everything? Then I went home and I had about 5 or 6 weeks of feeling sorry for myself. Then I thought, get off your ass and do what you do best. And I just the doctor at the time, we went back and seen the doctor. The doctor said, make sure you train half an hour 4 times a week. You do this and you do that and you do this. So straight away I said, well, if half an hour is good for you, 4 hours has got to be better. So I'm thinking, if you walk for 4 hours, if half an hour is bloody good, 4 hours better. So I do 3 or 4 hours every day, and just I just don't follow this, but even my medication, I think one's good, two's better. Be careful of that. I nearly killed a wife one day because I was fighting a tiger. So be careful when you double up. So don't go too far down that one track. But still, and that's how you got to attack it. Like, this isn't a funny thing. This is a very sad thing. But every day I walk, and I'm walking on my own, and I just keep repeating my 7 grandchildren's name because I don't want to forget them. So I just keep repeating them, thinking, bloody hell, I won't forget. This is one thing I won't forget, these kids' names. So even things like that, you just got to get around it and do it and stop it from all happening as long as you can.
Yeah, good on you, Royce. Good stuff. I want just move on to the game as it is right now, or, you know, what's topical in rugby league at the moment, Minnie. And that Anzac Day game, Dragons and your mob, the Roosters. I know the Dragons have got a lot going on, but I don't think the Roosters are getting the credit. Like, the Roosters middles tore the Dragons a brand new arse that day. No one was going to beat the Roosters on that game on Anzac Day.
Yeah, well, I think our sort of Anzac Day started in pre-season where 15 of the guys and some of the coaching staff went to Kokoda. And they obviously trekked and did Kokoda, which was obviously a really tough couple of weeks. So they drew back on that experience through pre-season. And Robbo is very good at theming a season, bringing that back to the front of the mind in that week. And, you know, they get servicemen and women to come in and really dive deep into their experiences over in war and whatnot. So they really understand it well. Robbo gets them to understand it. You know, it's important. It's an important day for Australia and New Zealand. So he really does a great job at the feeling part of it. So I think when the boys go out on Anzac Day, it's, you know, we're playing a game, so we're going to really give it our all for 80 minutes. And you see the intensity in obviously you mentioned the full pack, you know, they set the platform there. So it is a special day to play on, and the boys they're always ready for it.
Do you think, Minnie, thinking with your head, not your heart? Because I know you'd love them to go all the way, but they're looking good this year. I know there were question marks about DCE, but him and Sammy Walker, it's clicking. Teddy, he just keeps getting better every year. Do you think they got what it takes?
It sounds a bit like 2018, doesn't it? Like, you know, when we signed Cooper Cronk in 2018, you know, the first 8 weeks was pretty poor. Like, the combinations weren't that good, and then they just sort of hit their straps. Kez is gone now, but he was in that team. And after those two clicked and you know, really got the structure down pat, then they just went on and you know, won 18-19. So, you know, obviously Cherry Evans is 37. It's a little bit different when we signed Cooper. But I think his experience is starting to show in games now. Just, you know, he's starting to feel a bit more comfortable. I think when he first slotted in there, you know, he was playing 5'8", which is a little bit different role to halfback, and he's not used to that. So now they're starting to find their feet together with Semi, and it's looking promising because you do need a mix of experience and young talent on the field, and the experience part comes under pressure when things hit the fan, when those experienced players calm and the rest of the players down out there.
We saw it, I think, you know, we say it, but I think we saw it last year, Minnie, more than ever. You've only got to finish top 4 and you can win the comp. If you finish anywhere in that top 4, I reckon you're a red-hot cracker winning the comp.
100%. And I think if you're injury-free and you're in the top 4 going in the semi-finals, it's wide open that any of those teams can win for sure.
Panthers, they're right up there again. Top of the table, only lost 1 game. Would you put your money on them?
Well, I would, but I don't expect bloke next door to me to finish money.
Should everyone put money on the Roosters or the Panthers here?
Oh no, go Panthers. The club, it's the brilliant thing is, say they don't win it this year and they run second or third, you know, or whatever. Like personally, I think, you know, they're going to be a big show, and if they run second or third, still a tremendous effort to continue to do what they've done. I think a telling part of this season is going to be getting through the State of Origin, because, you know, that's where really, you know, the depth of the clubs will be sorted out. You might go into the State of Origin looking real good and come out the other end, and even though New South Wales has won the series, you mightn't come out looking that good at club level, you know. So I think that's going to have a big play. You know, I looked at Penrith last year when, you know, they've since they got beaten in the grand final and went through, I think they've lost something like 28, 29 players out of the full-time squad over that period. You know, and as the season wore on last year, they just kept sneaking up and getting a bit better and a bit better and a bit better, because they've got the young kids there, all getting educated well and all coming on well, and you know, they were competitive towards the end of the year again, and that'll be a big part of this year, as I said, getting through the State of Origin, I think.
think the Minnie and Royce, I'll throw this to both of you. I think the big shock this year has been how bad Melbourne have now lost 7 in a row. But Tigers are missing probably half a dozen this weekend, so they might get a win. But I don't know, Minnie, how anyone could have seen that coming.
Yeah, no, it's ever since Melbourne come into the comp, they've cycled in the top 6, top 4 every year. So it's I keep tipping them in my tipping comp, and they keep losing. But they're in uncharted territory. I think all the players, and even Bellamy is as well. You know, trying to figure out how to get on a roll and how to win a game again. And sometimes when you're in that, I think I've lost 6 in a row back in the day as well, and you almost forget how to win. You know, you're training so hard, you think you're doing everything right at training, and you come up with a loss again and another loss. But when it comes, it'll flow on again. So I think maybe this week could be the week. But you know, for Origin, it's there's a couple of Queenslanders there, so it's good they're not in good form. So we want New South Welshmen in good form leading into Origin. I always think that you pick a team that's playing well and confident. Hopefully they can get the series done.
You know what? I'm a Tigers fan, but I actually think Melbourne are going to win.
Yeah.
It's their time.
Yeah.
Like, they've lost 7 in a row, and the Tigers have done a great job, but they're missing Jareem, Appy, Adam Dewey, a handful of others as well. So, I mean, I'm always on the Mighty West Tigers, but unfortunately I think this is the week Melbourne get their win.
Well, I tell you what, guys, I'll just end on this. Say what you will, but I think the first person picked in that Origin side's probably got to be Teddy. I mean, I'd be picking him a fullback.
He's in career best form, isn't he? Although, like, selfishly, and all the Roosters fans, they sort of probably don't want him to get picked because they want him to play well for the Roosters. Because it does, like Royce just said, the 6 weeks period of Origin, or 6 to 8 weeks it is now, it takes a toll mentally, physically. Like, you're so focused on Origin and getting your body prepared mentally and physically for, like, the biggest battle of your life. And then after that period, there's a huge lull where you got to go back to club footy straight away. And then, you know, you don't really get excited again until semi-finals come around. You're just sort of going through the motions for 4 weeks, trying to recover. And then you go, semi-finals, and then you pep up again. So, and that, you know, if someone's well into their 30s, then it's harder to get back to that original form. So he's probably been the number 1 fullback of the comp, but we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Just before we go, I know we're probably going to wrap up, but from all of the panellists, there's been great insight on footy, great insight on mental health as well. But the one line I'm going to walk away and remember, I almost was crying up here when you said you're walking around and you say your grandkids' names. I think, and I noticed everyone as well, that touched them and affected them as well, whether you've got kids, grandkids, and, you know, we all love rugby league and we all wrap our arms around each other. And I know in that moment everyone wanted to do that to you as well, Royce. So you're an inspiration with how you've handled this from the get-go. I know you and Leanne had me into your home when you first got diagnosed, and you were so open. And I know you know my brother and my family well from your time at the Tigers. You're the best person. Rugby league is better off for having you as a player, as a coach. And I know everyone's really grateful to have heard from everyone, but from Royce especially in a really tough time.
Thank you. In September. In September, I'll be doing another walk. This year I'll be walking from Gilgandra. Of course, all the older people here will remember John Farragher that, unfortunately had his neck broken years ago playing for Penrith. Was a great mate of mine. He passed away about 6-9 months ago now, so we're going to walk from Easttown, Gilgandra, to Cowra, where I went to school, where I should get my dad's still up there trying to get his money back. Anyway, that's where we'll walk at 300k. If you see an opportunity to throw a tenner our way, please do. thanks very much for inviting me today, and thanks again for this wonderful you bullfed.
We'll get that story off you again next year. Ladies and gentlemen, two of the best our game has seen. Royce Simmons, Anthony Minatello, and Channel 9's Emma Lawrence. But of course she prefers Triple M, so true. Thanks everyone, we'll be back shortly with the auctions and the raffles and whatnot.
Hey Alan. Hey mate, sorry, buddy.